And tonight, Damon, we honor all of Arizona's seniors in this huge victory, and also one of the most important figures in winning games in Arizona basketball history, Bobby Hurley, on the other side of this 30-second countdown. Don't you go anywhere, and please don't leave us, Bobby.
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats podcast, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. With my guy Kevin Thomas, I am Damon Fairall, and the Arizona Wildcats take down the Arizona State Sun Devils 113-100, Kevin. And we have a lot to talk about in this game. Of course, if you watched any of our stream that we did, our watch-along stream with the PHNX Sun Devils guys, thank you for tuning in. Lots of fire, lots of passion, a little bit of back and forth. I think it was what we wanted it to be, Kevin.
It was a really good time. If you did tune into that, you know, you got a lot of classic, some shouting things going down between Damon Dog and the rest of everybody. There were some controversies going on. Totri was losing his mind.
As things usually happen, you know, just Damon just backs against the wall, screaming, yelling.
In the trenches.
Kicking.
Reaction to Henri Veesar doing Henri Veesar the Hammer, Henry the Hammer stuff. We also had Bobby Hurley putting on, we even got a little tech from Bobby Hurley in this game. So it was a great time at the watch party or at the watch along. If you weren't there, you kind of missed out, to be honest with you, on that one. We even had a little debate on cold or warm soup, but that's neither here nor there.
Essentially what was a 6-man Arizona State team just beat or just scored triple digits on a Arizona defense that was 18th in KenPom going into this game. Arizona State being one of the worst teams when it comes to the offensive side of the ball in the Big 12 Conference, and they didn't look like it tonight because they shot a really high percentage from the floor here. They shot 52.2% from three, which was the main thing, and then of course 31 free throw attempts for the Sun Devils as well. So I floated it. Shane, who's producing for us today, shout out Shane. Didn't really agree, but I think that relative to expectations, ASU just probably had the best offensive performance they've had all season long. 100 points with a 6-man rotation is absolutely insane, Kevin. And while they deserve the credit, this is an Arizona show, and mostly what I think the angle we have to approach it from is that is just not good enough defense. If you want to, especially at this point in the season, it's March 4th, Kevin. This is not.
It is.
Yeah, this is not January.
It's a nice day.
It's beautiful outside. It's my guy Kevin Thomas's birthday, as we probably should have let off the show with. That's what we should have had. We should have had like some balloons and maybe like what do they call the thing that
like the noisemakers?
Yeah,
or like the little
party horn.
Party horn. Yeah, we should have. That's how we should have started it. But unfortunately, Kevin, it wasn't a happy day when it came to the Arizona Wildcats basketball team, and just not a good enough performance. I guess we'll start off here. What did you see from a defensive standpoint that really was, just wasn't straight up good enough if this team wants to, peak at the right time?
Honestly, Damon, I thought in the first half, Arizona did, in the beginning of the first half, Arizona did a very good job of pressuring Arizona State's guards and making it hard on them to even get shot attempts off, right? I think the first, 7 shots of the game, it felt like, were all from Arizona State's bigs or their front court members. And I think that's because Arizona was doing a great job of doubling the catch and making it really hard for them to make secondary decisions. And I think, it might have got away from that a little bit, but I also just feel like Arizona, I don't know what the answer is, but whatever's wrong with these home defensive performances, you know what I mean? The game against BYU, I was talking about this on the watch along. You come away from that game being like, okay, Arizona lets up 96 at home, but at least it's BYU. BYU has an NBA style offense that Kevin Young has been cooking with the schemes over there. But let's be honest, this is a Bobby Hurley team, ladies and gentlemen.
Like,
this is not exactly the 2016 Golden State Warriors. But Arizona was unable to string together long stretches with holding Arizona State without a basket. And yeah, we talked about it pre-show with our guy Shane here. If Arizona didn't win this game by 15 plus and they win by 13, then it was a very disappointing in game for not only the fans but for the team.
The verbiage I used was embarrassing.
That is the exact verbiage.
And then Kevin said yes, it would be embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, because I was on the preview show.
I don't think this was embarrassing.
Well, no, but it's personally embarrassing.
It's disappointing, but it's not.
It didn't feel like it didn't feel like a 13-point victory.
It didn't.
I feel like we won by about 6 points right now, and to me that is somewhat embarrassing given the rotation that ASU had. Like, I think a healthy ASU team I wouldn't be embarrassed by. There's a lot of talent on a squad like that, but given the fact that BJ Freeman is no longer on the team, Jaden Quainance is not playing, and Adam Miller essentially did not play in this basketball game, you're looking at potentially those being the 3 best players on Arizona State's team.
Yeah.
And without those guys, they came into your house at McKale Center in a packed with Arizona fans. There's going to be close to 0 ASU fans at this game relative to what a U of A ASU game typically looks like.
Yeah,
right?
like at McKale North or something.
But even for football, ASU gets a lot of fans in the stands at Arizona Stadium. Like, you don't really see that at McKale Center in basketball. And yeah, I mean, they laid an egg from a defensive standpoint tonight. It just wasn't good enough. And really, I feel like it's that perimeter shooting, right? That has kind of, felt like haunts this team at times in weirdly, right? Like, because this is not I wasn't afraid of ASU's perimeter shooting at all going into this game. Wasn't even a forethought on my mind. But I guess looking back on it, it's like, if they're going to find a way to win this basketball game, it's going to be through shooting a ton of threes and making a ton of threes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was the game plan for Arizona State tonight, but you got to know that if you're Tommy Lloyd, right? Because they're shorthanded. That's the recipe for a shorthanded team. Yeah. They knew they weren't going to stop Arizona on the offensive from Arizona's offense, considering Bobby Hurley Jr. played, how many minutes did he play tonight? Like, every time he got out there, they were just hunting him on switches. But
he played 6 minutes tonight.
Yeah, in all 6 of those minutes, they were just hunting.
-4. -4 in the 6 minutes.
Honestly, not as bad as it should have been. But yeah, I mean, it's a disappointing effort from this team. Like, Alston Mason puts up 33 points. I would imagine that has to be his season high. He's a 12-point per game scorer.
Yeah, it is his season high because Sannon dropped 28 in their previous game, and that was a season high for the whole team. So yeah, there's huge individual performances in the last 2 games because you are so shorthanded.
Alston's had multiple 25-plus point games this year, so it's not like a new thing for him.
Yeah,
26 was his high prior to this, and then he had one other 25.
Yeah, and 20s and 19s. Like,
120. He hasn't been a big scorer. He's been around a 13-point per game scorer the majority of the season. He's a good player. He's a good player, but 33 points from a guy like that, especially, like, no offense, but like at that size too, like that's pretty unusual, especially against Arizona. So it's like, I don't know. Jayden Bradley, like, he plays a little bit bigger, I think, than maybe what his height would indicate.
Guy.
Yeah, for sure. He can guard up, and yeah, it's disappointing to let a team that, like the ASU team that we just watched, who lost by 20 almost to Utah, right? Not very long ago, like that. This is just not a performance to hang your hat on, and it's definitely not one that makes Arizona fans feel good given the portion of the season that we're getting into now.
Oh, you led me right to it. You led the horse to water, Damon, because I was just about to bring up my guy Roberto's comment here, who says, I feel like how well we play against Kansas will show how well we will play in the tournament. And he's so spot on, because I was talking during the game about this on the watch along about how Arizona fans coming into this game, we were all excited to see Arizona kind of, whoop some butt, really put it to a team when they had the chance to do it, and really start to build momentum. Because if you look at their recent wins and losses, Damon, I got it right here. It's a lot of red and green stripes, not a lot of long win streaks ever since they lost to Kansas State back in February now, right?
It's been a great run of basketball.
Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And if you lose to Kansas, you're just following that same pattern. And so I'm deathly curious to find out which Arizona team shows up against Kansas, because if this is the Arizona team that shows up against Kansas, man, I'm worried, because we've been talking about it all year. Well, hey, they can't really shoot the ball, but at least they're locked down on defense. Their mid-range is money. Veesar is balling like he did tonight. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But I'm worried, Damon. I'm a worried man.
Sorry, you said Veesar. I got
Yeah, it's all good. I totally get it. But I'm a worried man because
you should be.
I felt that the defense would carry this team through the tournament, and that all the things that they can control will carry them into the tournament. But if that falls out the window, you already can't shoot. I feel like this team's scaring me, man. This team's scaring me. But tonight they did win, and we're happy about that.
Yeah,
it just didn't look the way that we all wanted it to look.
So like Lost Highway puts here in the chat, and you know, I understand the thought process. Like, glad the offense isn't busted, but I really don't take much stock into the offense tonight.
No,
I don't walk away from this being like, wow, Arizona fixed their offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a performance against a team that was outmatched in every facet, and their big men, you know, their two starting front court players had 10 fouls between the two of them. So even when they weren't fouled out, they were dealing with foul trouble and you know, maybe not playing as physical of defense as they would if they weren't in foul trouble. Like, I don't think that this offensive performance is really anything to write home about. They did what they should do on offense.
Yeah.
But defensively, like, I am taking stock into this and saying that this is scary, because this is exactly, we've seen it a million times. This is exactly like what an Arizona tournament loss feels like. The other team has no business being in this game with you, but then they just shoot 50% from three. And it leads to, you know, and if this playing a better defensive team, if a team shoots like this but is better at defense than Arizona State is, yeah, that would scare me. That would scare me for sure.
And you know what else kind of worries me here, Damon, is that listen to the last 4 games here for Arizona, right? Now, opposing teams, BYU, 96 points scored. Baylor, you only let up 67. Good defensive performance there.
Yep.
But then you follow that up with, sorry, I got a little out of order there. It was 66 to Utah, and then 84 to Iowa State, and then 100 to Arizona State. It's not really rounding into the best defense that has been all year at the very wrong time. And it's it's kind of concerning, considering the fact that we talk about consistency with this team, Damon, and defense is the one thing that can travel in the tournament.
Yeah.
And if you're losing the defense right at the beginning of March, like literally March 1st, the defense was just out the door. It felt like that's very worrying. But like you said, I don't really take much away from the offensive performance in this one. I feel like they did what they should do. Arizona State is 7 guys deep plus Bobby Hurley Jr. And so, yeah, you're making a face. What was that about?
I just checked. I peeped the defensive rating for Arizona after this game. They were 18th going into it. They are now 27th in Ken Palm defensive rating after one game. That's what happened to this team.
Arizona State putting 100 on your head at home will do that. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Not 9 spots in one basketball game this deep into the season. That's pretty hard to do, and I think it's pretty indicative of how awful of a defensive performance this truly was. This is a team that's been sitting at like 11th, 12th, 13th in defensive rating for most of the season. And as you mentioned, like, they've dropped a tiny bit here going into this stretch. I think the Iowa State game dropped them a couple spots. But yeah, I mean, 27th, that's pretty brutal, man. For a team that's been their calling card all season long. So,
and you know, can I just check our knowledge real quick, Damon? Do we really know ball? Do you and I really know ball? Because
not according to some people.
We're sitting here talking about Arizona's offense is kind of but their defense has been awesome all year. Here they sit at 27 in Ken Palm on defense, 15 in offense on Ken Palm. So Ken Palm says everything is all hunky dory in Tucson.
Before this, they were 18 and 18 in both. So,
but I guess my point is, would you have guessed that it was a top 18? Like, if you didn't know, would you have guessed it was a top 18 offense?
Certainly not. That's my point. But you know why they are a top 18 offense? Because they get to the free throw line so damn much.
And they're so good at the free throw line.
They are, and they're great at the free throw line. And that's another thing that can travel with this team, Kevin, as we get into March. It's free throws and defense. That should be the mentality of this team, game in and game out, right? But they can't be giving up 30 plus free throws on the other end.
No.
If you're going to win the free throw margin, you got to win it significantly, not by a handful of points.
Yeah.
So
Caleb Love drops 8 free throws tonight. makes 7 of them. KJ Lewis with 9 attempts. Tobe Awaka with 7 attempts, 5 makes. Like, this is what I've been asking from Caleb Love all year, have I not? Like, dude, you can shoot the 7 threes. I don't care. But as long as you shoot more free throws than you do threes, you and I are good. You know what I mean? But I think this is, I know it's ASU, and I know it's like not something you can really take away from, but we were talking about it in past post games as well. This is the kind of shot hunting I want from Caleb Love. Mix of the threes, getting downhill, drawing fouls. Like that's a successful Caleb Love. He also mixed in 5 rebounds and 5 assists as well, but no turnovers even. So
Caleb Love hates ASU.
He loves to play against ASU. Loves it. Caleb Love, rivalry guy.
For sure.
Like since
That's
day
a good
one.
point.
Yeah, rivalry guy since
That's
day
a good
one.
point. It's just kind of who he is. Like you can tell that those Duke games, he got up for those Duke games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no, that's his jam.
If only we could play Arizona State in the tournament every game. And then, or in the Final Four, might make the national championship like he did at North Carolina. That certainly would be nice, Kevin. But unfortunately, we have to deal with, a lot of 5 for 13 performances. Even though he was a good offensive performance, it still was not the best percentage-wise from our guy Caleb Love.
Yeah.
And that's something, but if he's going to give us 4 of 7 from 3, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, no, we were talking about it on a recent post game. You were asking me if I think Caleb Love should stop shooting threes, and I kind of said yeah. But he's gonna make some. He's gonna have a game like tonight where he shoots 4 for 7, and then he plays a team who's quite frankly better on defense.
Yeah,
and he's gonna probably shoot two less makes. But he has that high ceiling. He's a high variance player. We know this, right? And that's just who he is. And tonight was one of those games. Many people predicted it on Twitter before, just based on the pattern of who Caleb Love is, that tonight was going to be a Caleb Love kind of game, and it sure was. And yeah, it's like I just said, for Caleb Love at this point, I just want to see free throws. Like I just want to see him get himself going. I want to see him give himself a chance to be successful from beyond the arc.
I think that's like the barometer for us right now of like what is a good and what's a bad Caleb Love game.
Yeah,
because like you said, the variance shooting comes and goes. That's something that I think we just have to deal with, and it's not always going to look pretty. But as if he can control what he can control, and that's taking smart shots, forcing contact, in the restricted area, playing good defense, facilitating, being that secondary facilitator for this team, like all of that stuff is contributing to winning at the highest level. And he's been doing it for the most part all season long. But there are weird games here and there where he's only shooting, 3 free throw attempts in that game or whatnot. So
can't have that.
Yeah, I think we got to sit somewhere around that 8 free throw attempt per game margin. Yeah. I think that's a good spot for Caleb Love, and that's a good barometer for like, is this a game where he played aggressively enough, right? I mean, and it's not always going to be perfect like that, but I think it's an interesting talking point for sure, and something to monitor as we get into March here. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and look at these numbers here, Kevin, presented by our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union. Arizona's number 1 credit union, presented by Forbes.
Ever heard of those guys?
According to Forbes, I should say.
Forbes, ever heard of those guys?
They're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Arizona Wildcats, 113, beating Arizona State, who score 100 points. Great picture of Bobby Hurley there, by the way.
Just great picture of Tommy Lloyd. Look at that smirk.
Yeah, just a true, just something blank eating grin there from our guy Tommy Lloyd. And then Bobby Hurley just doing what he does best.
Just screaming his head off.
Oh, love it so much. Arizona wins the field goal percentage battle here, 59 to 46%, 59%. Nothing to scoff at. But as I said, playing against this team, expecting a big offensive performance, I think is what you need to see. Not really like, hey, pat yourself on the back, guys. But then they lose the 3-point percentage battle here as ASU shoots 52% from beyond the arc. Arizona wins assist battle 21 to 15. Very, very low turnover game, which we've talked about a little bit off air. Huge contributor to, I believe, the final result here is both teams really kept in control of the basketball. Both teams took care of the basketball very, very well.
I believe Arizona had 0 first half turnovers.
Yeah, and Arizona, a team that I think we've seen is very turnover prone at times. Because they're a transition team. They're a fast break team. So that leads to more turnovers naturally. Tonight, they ran in transition a lot, but didn't turn the ball over. So you love to see that.
Look at that, though.
Points in the paint there, 52 to 30. 22-point margin there. You love to see it, Kevin.
I mean, you love to see nothing more than a 22-point discrepancy for your team in points in the paint. That means you are winning the physicality battle. You are the one dictating where the game is played, right? I think that like winning the points in the paint battle at times, we've talked about it for this Arizona team, how important it can be and how it can actually be an indicator of Arizona kind of struggling to out-physical their opponent.
Yeah.
But tonight, that was not a problem. Obviously, you're playing a shorthanded team. You had better out-physical the shorthanded team, especially when they're too bigs or having foul trouble for most of the game. And so, yeah, very, very satisfied with Arizona's paint performance, especially. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because we have our player of the game as well to give out. Spoiler alert, it's a front court guy. And
we got to get into the stock market, too.
We do got to get into the stock market. It's a new look stock market on the AZ Wildcats podcast. But don't you go anywhere. It's an ad break coming up. Stay right in your seat. Damon Dog, I really want to mention our friends over at Mando because you know who could use some Mando right now?
The boys in the in the broom
in the
closet.
mini bar. The boys in the boys in the broom closet could certainly use some Mando. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. You go in for one thing, they come out with a different situation for you. But it's a whole body deodorant. That means it can go on your pits, your balls, your thigh folds, your under the stomach rolls, your neck rolls, behind the ear, literally anywhere you got sweat, you can put Mando. You got the solid stick deodorant that comes in that starter pack that along with the cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping as well, Damon Dog. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack. That's 40% off of the starter pack as a whole. Use code PHNX at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com.
You're looking for something fun to do this weekend here in the Valley, head on over to Phoenix Raceway. We got a race this weekend in Phoenix, and race weekend in Phoenix is special, Kevin. March 7th through 9th, best time of weather all year long. Bring some sunscreen, might get a little bit toasty, but I'm going to tell you what, it's not going to be, it's going to be like a good primer for the summer. It's not going to be too hot out there. Going to be feeling good, and the vibes are going to make it feel even better because they got great food, great atmosphere, great folks to be around, and of course, great drivers like Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, and the current champion, Joey Logano. It's a best-in-class fan experience the whole family won't forget in the Estrella foothills, which is just a beautiful backdrop when you're watching cars go 200 miles per hour here at Phoenix Raceway. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. That's phoenixraceway.com.
Vroom, vroom.
Does sound fun. Yeah, my guy Alec here gonna need some of that Mando in Vegas this weekend. Ain't that right, Damon? Yeah, of course. My bachelor party I haven't mentioned yet.
Your bachelor party?
No, not my bachelor party, but the one I'm going to.
Important distinction.
Haven't mentioned it yet. Yeah, you know what? I was supposed to get married when we went to Miami in October. I was part of the deal with our diehards that went out and met us in Miami for that one, but unfortunately we just didn't find the lady. Who knows? Maybe Vegas is the spot.
If you want to have a shotgun marriage, Vegas is the spot to have it. So
I mean, there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah. Anyway, Damon Dog, we're gonna leave that on the table where it is. We have more to talk about from this game, and we were kind of talking about the points in the paint battle. And one of the best ways to win the points in the paint battle is to have a dominant big. And who was the most dominant big tonight?
Shane's
it was our
favorite
player of the game, Henri Veesar.
Shane hates Veesar so much, he put it on screen and then took it off for a half second because he just was like, that's enough Veesar talk for the day, guys. Henri Veesar, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, but 22 points, Kevin. A great game from him. A couple threes here in this one. You love to see that 2 of 5 from 3. Of course, always
4 blocks.
Oh, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. And then he has 5 offensive rebounds, Kevin. Man. I mean, he dominated tonight, and as he should, right? He's going up against Sean Phillips, who's battling fouls all night long.
I look at this and I see he only had 3 defensive rebounds, and that just disgusts me.
Sure. Well, you know what, Shane? ASU hit way too many shots tonight to have a ton of defensive rebounds available out there, but 22 minutes for our guy, 22 points, Kevin. We've seen that a lot with Toby Awaka and Henri Veesar recently. Like, here, Toby Awaka, 15 points, 20 minutes. You got both those guys giving you like almost close to a point a minute here. I mean, you do for Henry, but
Toby Awaka didn't miss, brother. He don't miss. He missed from the line twice. We can't have that. Can't have that.
I think
but he don't miss.
The biggest revelation this season, I think, has been this front court and these two in particular, Toby Awaka and Henri Veesar, right?
No, yeah,
because
great point.
I don't think that we expected a whole lot of them from a offensive standpoint going into this season at all. I think Krivas was expected to be the big horse in the paint when it came to the scoring output, and Trey Townsend was thought to be, a guy who was going to. Oh, his floor is about 12 points per game, right?
We should go back and find that tweet I had preseason where I was like, it was like a couple of days before the season started. I tweeted, it was like midnight, and I was like, I can't sleep thinking about Trey Townsend offensive rebounds, putbacks. I can sleep now.
Brother,
I think I can sleep.
You got some good sleep.
Yeah, I think I can sleep now. I think I've been sleeping for some months now.
But yeah, I think Toby Awaka and Henri Veesar, they've just been doing this consistently for the last 2 months of this season. It's been great to see, Kevin, and if Arizona's going to win, I feel like going to be off the backs of those guys in large part because they've been winning these front court battles game after game. Sometimes the guards lose their matchups, sometimes they match their guys, but game after game, these big men, I feel like are overperforming and beating the big men on the opposition side. And Arizona's just been leaning into that strength for a long part of the season now.
I'm with you, and I think that even the games that I'll say Henri Veesar kind of struggles a little bit or isn't as productive statistically as you might want him to be.
Yeah.
Toby Awaka's there to pick up the slack. Like his tenacity has been off the charts all season, and I think that it's only getting better with time. Like we keep talking about how much more comfortable Toby Awaka is being playing in Tommy Lloyd's system. It's coming through every game now, Damon. I think when he plays teams like this against ASU, watch out. The way he was ripping rebounds away from dudes, Toby Awaka is a monster, y'all.
And he was hunting Bobby Hurley Jr. on the other end. That's one of those situations where it's like Bobby Hurley Jr., he obviously has experience being in the locker room. And, I think that's why he's out there, right? Like Bobby Hurley Sr. knows that Jr. is going to go out there and at least be in the right spot. But a lot of times in this one, that spot was being switched on to Toby Awaka and being pinned directly underneath the basket. And shout out to Arizona for hunting those matchups because that's absolutely what they should do in a situation like that. But here's why, and I'll go back to it. I say that, going into this Big 12 tournament and this NCAA tournament, I don't take a bunch of stock in this. You're not going to get a Bobby Hurley Jr. under the basket in the Big 12 tournament or in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
Those you're actually going to get, very, very good teams.
Well, round one, you might get a couple Bobby Hurley Juniors, actually, depending upon who you face.
Maybe.
You just might find a whole team of Bobby Hurley Juniors. Who knows?
If you're a 1 seed, but I saw a projection the other day that had us playing the winner of Xavier Ohio State.
I saw Field of 68 had us projected to face High Point. So that might be, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with High Point's roster, so I don't want to talk out of turn, but I feel like a team like High Point has a Bobby Hurley Jr.
High Point breakdown. This is why we have you on the show here.
Literally, what conference are they in? I couldn't tell you. I'm not even kidding. I genuinely have never heard of that school.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is mark it down. I was about to say Shane Diefenbach is a sicko for all conferences, knowing teams in the conferences. He's a Maction guy.
Do you want to guess, Shane?
Can I guess what their mascot is?
Ooh,
they feel like the Lancers or something like that.
You do have the ERS at the end, correct?
The Blazers.
It sounds kind of like Lancers.
The Ranchers.
I'll help. Can I help him and give him like a type? Yeah. It's an animal.
Ooh.
And not like it's a normal, like you'd find this at like the zoo.
The Panthers.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like that, and sorry, this is obviously biased, but it's also so common. That and the Wildcats are two of my least favorite. Like, just come on. Just think of something different.
Common, like my name is Kevin, so I kind of get that argument as to like everyone is named Kevin. I think it's a cool name because it's my name. You know what I mean? Like I think the Wildcats are cool because that's my squad. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Here's where I'm
but
at. But
objectively, there are way too many Wildcats out there.
I agree with that, and it's obviously not like the most original thing in the world. But I think that given the fact that Wildcats are actually in our backyard, it makes it a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah, sure.
Like Bobcats are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are.
Like Bobcats, that's a cool animal.
Yeah.
It's a cool desert animal.
You know what else is cool?
And Wilbur wears a cowboy hat, and he has a holster, and he wears.
You know what else is cool?
Assless chaps. It's awesome.
Cougars are cool too.
Cat go meow.
So Cougars are cool, but Wildcats are not.
I was making a joke.
Yeah,
I got you.
Are they in the No, they wouldn't be in the SWAC. They're just in a weird conference, huh?
The Big South.
I forgot that conference even
14-2
existed.
in the Big South. 26-5 overall.
Oh, is High Point the what are they? Purple and
purple and gray.
yeah. I know this team.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm familiar.
I'm familiar with their game.
88th in here in Ken Palm. Interesting fact.
I do want to talk a little bit more about the Arizona State game.
I think we should.
Okay, yeah. Can we talk about the seniors? Can we talk about how this might be Caleb Love's last game in the McKale Center and how sad I am about that? I've been watching this man play basketball for how many years, Damon? A lot of years.
You've been following him around the country.
He followed me.
Sure.
We started in the same. I mean, if you want to do that logic, I'm saying I was at Arizona first. I was enrolled first.
You were getting out ahead of it.
Maybe sources say, who knows? Sources say that I
Throwing
played
him off your trail a little bit.
Sources say that I played a big role in Caleb Love landing in Arizona.
All I'm saying is that if I'm this man, I'm making sure I'm monitoring where this man is at all times.
Yeah, bro. If I ever move to the PNW and find Caleb Love in a Blazers G League jersey or something, that would be next level.
When Caleb Love's a member of the Sioux Falls Skyforce next year, and
guys,
huh?
Whoa,
come on, guys.
What?
That's not out of pocket.
He's his Phoenix Sun.
Sioux Falls
He's
Skyforce,
a
best
Phoenix
G League
Sun.
team.
I mean, hey, wait, actually,
it's a great organization to be a part of, brother.
if Colin Gillespie can save the Suns' season, I think Caleb Love deserves a shot.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like if Colin Gillespie can do it, Caleb Love can do it too. So maybe we're not giving our guy Caleb enough credit, but he might have played his last game with McKale. Probably played his last game with McKale. Played his last game with McKale. How are we feeling? I'm sad. How are you feeling?
I'm sad too. I mean, Caleb Love is a great Wildcat. He was he's a fun player. He's one of those guys that you'll remember because, he was kind of the face of this team, I think, and the face of this program for a couple of years here. So, he's
facts, W.
He's one of those, he's like a real hooper. You know what I mean? Like
he is a hooper.
That's a great way of saying it. Like he puts some sauce on the layups,
sometimes too much sauce.
Talk some ish after you hit a big three in someone's mouth. Like, you gotta love a guy like that when he's on your team. And Caleb Love was tons of fun, but we're not finished yet. It's like Pelle Larson said last year, even though it didn't work out at all. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. Kobe Bryant, Pelle Larson. That's the quote right there. Pelle went off last night for your squad, by the way. Was that last night or 2 nights ago at this point? I don't know. It's all a haze at this point. But
a good game.
Caleb Love, I'm really sorry that the Caleb Love experience is going to come to a close like this because we're coming close to the end of the road, Damon Dog, and I don't want to say goodbye to Caleb Love. He's been a part of our Arizona lives for a little minute now, and for as up and down of a player as he can be at times, I think that's part of the allure of like supporting him, right? Because it makes you that much more steadfast in your support. Because it's not a given that he's going to drop 25 every night. It's not a given
he
that
drops
he's going to
close to 20 every night.
Fair. Whatever. But it's not a given that he's going to absolutely ball out crazy every night. It's not a given that he's going to absolutely shoot the lights out every night. But it is a given that we're going to support Caleb Love. And that at the end of the night, we're going to say, hey, Caleb Love might have shot 2 for 12 from 3, but Arizona got a W and Caleb Love did some other things. And hey, next game, Caleb Love went crazy from 3. Like, it's just all this up and down that at the end of it, your emotions you're just so connected to the Caleb Love experience. And I'm going to miss that because it's hard to find that in a player that you feel so connected with their performances, right?
Yeah. Caleb Love is, he definitely is an emotionally charged player. Like, he's polarizing in some regards. I think some Arizona fans are, they don't love the way he plays basketball necessarily, but I think those are the same fans that are, losing their voices when he hits that half court buzzer beater versus Iowa State, because that's just the type of thing that he does, and that's the type of player he is. I know my guy Alec here, me and Alec in our group chat will look into my life. We all of our friends find him, they don't love him, and me and Alec are just fighting that war for him because Caleb Love, he's a fun basketball player to watch, and yeah, it's gonna be. It's sad seeing him, potentially play his last game at McKale. You, of course, have Trey Townsend, who gets honored on senior night as well.
He did, right? There's literally no possible way he comes back to McKale.
No, yeah, there's no way.
They don't play they're in the tournament. They don't.
It
is the last game.
Yeah, it's the last one, yeah.
Oh, did I say like maybe?
You've both been saying possibly.
Yeah.
So,
I said that.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't like some weird.
He just keeps coming back. He just keeps coming back to the game that he loves.
Yeah, there might be another lawsuit. Who knows?
Yeah. What was his name from Vandy? The quarterback.
Yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe Caleb will pull a lawsuit situation.
Diego.
Yes, Padilla. No, not Padilla. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't. Pavia. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to talk more about this game on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We still have a lot to talk about between Arizona and Arizona State. It's the AZ Wildcats post-game show. And look, Damon, we were talking a lot about Arizona's future in the tournament, and I think it could be bright, maybe even brighter if they had some Shady Rays to protect their eyes when they're trying to rebound in the paint, Damon, dog. Because with Shady Rays, you better get ready for any season. Comfortable, stylish, got colors for all your favorite teams if you want that. Polarized, non-polarized, they got it all. Even if you want to look a little bit Top Gunnish and get your aviator on, you can do that with Shady Rays. They probably have a style in your team's favorite colors. Get your own experience by wearing Shady Rays. I have a pair of Shady Rays, kind of wood grain polarized, very stylish. Break that out when it gets a little too sunny on the highway. Get a little bit scared, you know what I mean? But I'm never scared when I'm rocking my Shady Rays. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And plus, Damon, they got the craziest protection policy in the game. If you lose your sunglasses, they take an unexpected bang or a fall or something like that. I saw Eric Ruby's fall out of his pocket today. If they were scratched up, he could just return them and they would get him a new pair just like that. So make sure to check out our friends over at Shady Rays.
Make sure you guys check out our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos as well. I love Gila River Resorts and Casinos. I love the Wild Horse Pass location. There's nothing quite like a casino, right? And I think the best casinos that we have in Arizona, without even a question in the world, are the ones that are Wild Horse Pass and Gila River in general. I love Gila River. Wild Horse Pass, they got it all over at that location, as they do at the other ones as well. But they got the low dining options, the high dining options. They got the pool, they got the spa, they got concerts for you to hit, and of course they have all the live table games and I don't know why I'm blanking right now. What slots? Who doesn't love a little buffalo? Shane, what's your favorite slot? Panda. Shane loves Panda. You got everything at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass in particular. We do our watch parties over there. It's always a great time. Make sure you're on our events tab on our website, seeing if we got anything going on over at Gila. And of course, make sure you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details or check out the link in the description below.
Shout out to our guy Chris in the chat. I know he's enjoying his Brandon Bills hat for coming out to the takeover a while back for the last Territorial Cup game this season on February 1st. He says, got to be up for work in 4 hours. That's crazy. I know my girlfriend's got to be up at 3 a.m. for her job. So bear down, go Cast. We appreciate you, Chris, for stopping in for the stream for a little bit. But we got some more to talk about, Damon. I know it's bedtime for some people, but we're still up. We're staying up.
Here's what I'm going to talk about. And I think this is a good transition point into you saying that this is bedtime for some people. We get tweeted. Someone tweets at us after the game.
Oh yeah,
it's about we get 70 free throws shot total tonight.
80.
I believe it's 70. Ended up being 70.
My math is bad.
Well, he said 80, so I think that's what we're getting.
I was set up for failure.
70 free throws on the money combined from these teams tonight on a 9 p.m. tip-off game that didn't actually tip off until about 9:10. Can we do better, guys? Can we do better? No one wanted that tonight. No one wanted to be here as late as possible. Like this, that's not chill. Not chill at all. Not chill vibes, Kevin.
I'm looking at you, Bryce James. I need you to get your ass to Tucson so I can stop watching games past my bedtime. Because no way ESPN's letting this fly if Bryce James is just sitting there on the bench.
I will say the whistle's going to be crazy, though.
The whistle is going to be crazy.
Bryce James is going to shoot 28 free throws a game.
That might be the strat. Just throw Bryce James out there and see how quick they get a little ticky-tack, and then you kind of play it from there.
He has the best free throw rate in the country.
The best free throw rate since Bronny James
Look
a couple
at this.
years ago.
Look at this continuation and one from half court.
Yeah.
It's like the last guy to have a continuation from beyond half court was Giannis in the NBA. Anyway,
you'd think they're taking away that continuation that they took away from Caleb Love against BYU if that's Bryce James.
No, because LeBron's running onto the court.
Speaking of free throws, BYU screwed again by the refs tonight in their W and double OT. You just got to feel for those guys. They play 8 and 5 every night. just it sucks because they got such a good basketball team. They win a lot of games despite it.
No, yeah, and you know what? Real quick, but on the time topic before we go back onto the BYU crying Cougars,
No, we don't need to talk about that anymore. I just had to get a shot in.
I just want to say, like, you got to know your audience better, right? Like, you got to understand, like, hey, this game's in Tucson. A lot of these people got places to go, people to well, probably not people to see,
some
but
old folks in the stands,
places
man.
to sleep. Yeah, people to see and places to sleep.
It was bedtime literally at tip-off.
Yeah, and I feel like you just got to know your audience better, man. This is a main channel game. You know what I'm saying? You don't want half your audience falling asleep. And I think the person that tweeted at us that Damon was referencing was kind of upset about the amount of free throw calls in relation to the tip-off, right? Saying pretty much this game already started past my bedtime and you're already slowing it down with these tic-tac foul calls. What is going on? And that's where I'm at. I'm like, I looked at you halfway through this game and said, this was the Big 12, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought we were playing grown-up basketball here. I thought you were allowed to, try to stop your guy from getting to the hoop at will.
It was too much.
It's kind of been a little ticky-tack this year in the Big 12. At times. I think
recently for sure it's felt that way more so. But Kevin, I did want to talk about another senior tonight.
Let's do it.
And that's Trey Townsend.
Okay.
Trey Townsend, he's in the starting lineup, and he played his last game at McKale Center. I know it was only a season, and I know it was a little bit of a disappointing one, but Trey Townsend ends his Arizona McKale Center career shooting 100% from the floor. 2 for 2, baby. We got 8 points from Trey Townsend. I'm happy for the guy.
I'm ecstatic for him.
It wasn't we didn't get Trey Townsend was overmatched tonight in his final game. Trey Townsend looked good in the first half. Genuinely.
Yeah, no.
He didn't do anything in the second half.
I would have loved nothing more than for Bobby Jr. to box him out and clear him out of the paint.
Yeah, like that would be
See him like reaching, getting over the back.
That would be the most Trey Townsend thing I think ever if he got boxed out by Bobby Hurley Jr. That truly would have encapsulated the season. But shout out Trey Townsend again. Hey, when we talk about positively about Trey Townsend, I want to stay positive sometimes. And we got off the tracks for a second there, and I want to get back onto the right track.
Okay, yes.
Trey Townsend, good job, buddy.
And that was crazy. And it's just so patronizing. But no, I was about to say, like, I watched his press conference heading into this game, and they asked him about the significance of already going through a senior night last season with
at a
Oakland.
school where he's like a legend.
Yeah, at a school where everything was run through you. You're a legend there.
He's a walk-on. Became a 4-year player for him.
He described it like living out a life's dream, right? Doing that at Oakland, being able to do that for where he feels like it's home, right? And I think he also then spoke to on the other side how lucky he is to be able to have another senior night at a program as storied as Arizona. And so yeah, for Trey Townsend to be able to have a senior night at Arizona at a Big 12 program at this point in his career, I think is a huge congratulations to him. That's not something you could just really shake a stick at. I know we like to kind of play around and be silly about the Trey Townsend experience this season. But in all reality, like for him, the individual, what he's been able to accomplish with his basketball career is huge, right? Because if you're Trey Townsend, I don't know how confident or delusionally confident he is, but I mean that endearingly, right? Because to be a high-level athlete, you got to be delusionally confident. But I don't know what level he is, because if he doesn't think he can go pro, then this is it.
Well, he can go pro at some level.
No, you know what I mean though. Like if he doesn't think that his ceiling is what he wants it to be, this could be one of his best memories. Is like, okay, I made it to Arizona basketball. Like I played at one of the highest levels in the Big 12. Like I played in I played great minutes in an NCAA tournament for Oakland against great teams. Yeah. And so I feel like, congratulations to Trey Townsend. It might not have been the season so far. There's still time. It might not have been the season so far that Trey Townsend and Arizona fans wanted for him to have, but it's the one that we got. And I think there's still things to be proud of himself for this season. And also, I want to mention, Tommy Lloyd has had some great little quotables this season when he's comparing games and players and all that stuff. He described, which game was it? I don't think it matters, but he described it like, this game is just 2 dogs trying to chew on the same bone or something like that. 2 dogs, 1 bone, something like that.
Was it the Houston game?
I think it was. Just iconic. And then when they asked him about how he feels about players that have already had a senior night having another one, he called them double dippers. And I just want to say, thank you to the double dippers. Thank you to all the double dippers.
Shout out Trey Townsend.
Caleb Love as well, I think, right?
Did he get a senior day at North Carolina, or was he a junior?
Last year.
Oh.
Because he was supposed to go anywhere else.
True.
So yeah, I think, and they actually asked Kayla Love about that, like coming into the game, about like, hey, how's it feel to kind of like pump fake yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have a senior night, you go through the NBA process, and it doesn't go the way you want, and now you're back here. And the way he described it, I'm not trying to speak for him, but this is my interpretation of it. It was kind of funny that he was like, yeah, I tried the league thing, and here we are. You see how it worked? You know what I mean? Like I think that was kind of his attitude towards it, of like, hey, I got to kind of detach from the results. You know, I kind of have to be like, that happened. I'm here now. I'm trying to do what I can to go forward. But I thought his response was kind of funny in a way where like, yeah, I did that, and didn't really go the way I thought it was going to go, and now I'm here.
Yeah, last senior here that we should get to just before we get out of here, or before we move on from this topic, I should say, Grant Whiteman.
Shout out to White
Tucson
man.
native, Sal Point Lancer legend. Stand up.
Woo, Bijan.
It means everything. I went to high school with him. Don't know if he played football.
Dude, what? Grant full of surprises.
Grant Whiteman, he had a quote essentially saying that like he loves basketball, but he loves Arizona basketball even more. And it's,
God, I love that.
I think as speaking from experience, Grant Whiteman, I know he's been around the program for his whole life. This is when you grow up in Tucson and your family is big U of A fans, Arizona and Arizona basketball mean everything. And I think that, this is a guy who's a perfect encapsulation of that. He's a walk-on. He went through all the years of being a walk-on in this program. And he wanted to do what he could to be a part of this program and take advantage of that, and also help this program in ways that, it's a grind being like basically a scout team player on a team where you're never going to play. He got on scholarship this year, and I just want to say that I think that's like he's living every kid from Tucson's dream.
I'm not even from Tucson, and that was my dream.
Totally, but like I'm saying, like
no, I'm with you. I'm adding.
The moment this kid was 3 years old,
yes,
and he was going to games, he wanted to be on that court, and it's awesome to be the guy that's getting a standing ovation in front of the whole crowd when you get your name called, as to check in for that final moment. I think that's just a dream come true for a guy like that, and you got to be just thrilled for someone to be in that position.
Yo, honestly, Damon, left or right? Which wall do you want me to run through? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, that quote is gonna live on in my head forever.
Yeah,
because
dude.
it's
goes hard.
It's some movie stuff. You got to put yourself in his shoes. You just walked us halfway there. I'm gonna take us the rest of the way. This kid has lived the dream already. He's already lived the dream, right? And now your coach, Tommy Lloyd, who's worked with Team USA, who has coached all these great players, who is really accumulating a great resume. Now, I don't know what people in the chat might feel about that resume, but it's an awesome resume, right? He comes to you, Damon Dog. He comes to you and says, hey, man, I appreciate everything you've done for our program. Like, please, like, you can go. Be free, Damon Dog. Be free. And you look at Tommy Lloyd and say, coach, I love hoop, but I love hooping here more than anywhere else. Man, write the script now, dude. That's incredible. I saw that quote and it's not left my mind since. It's an incredible moment. It's another indication that what Tommy Lloyd is building here is a great thing. And I'm not trying to like make this a Tommy Lloyd thing, but I'm saying when your coach, who can probably send a recommendation to any school you want to go to within reason and play, and be like, hey, Grant's a great kid. You're going to want to play for him. He did this, that, and the third. And you look at him and say, no, coach, I ain't going nowhere. I don't care about averaging 12 a game in the Big South for High Point. All right. I want to do it for Arizona. And I don't want to I know I'm not going to average that, but I just want to be a part of the program here because it's so great. This is my life's dream.
It genuinely means everything. And
that couldn't have been more of a sweeter sentiment.
I know I say that all the time, and I'm a big exaggerator. That's kind of my thing. But like it genuinely means everything. Arizona sports, Arizona athletics, Arizona basketball, it means everything. And that's a guy who embodies it. And you love to have, like, even if it's not, a dude who's like on the forefront of like he's the star player of the team or whatnot, you love to have a guy like that at least in and around the program, because I think that passion wears off on everybody else. It bleeds off of a guy like that and into a Caleb Love, a Jaden Bradley, a KJ Lewis, and KJ Lewis also, lived at Tucson at one point of his life. So he I think he understands that to that extent a little bit more as well. But it makes these other guys feel that passion all the much more. So you gotta love having a guy like Grant around the program and just giving us one of the most fire quotes.
Oh my God,
that we've received at least this year, but maybe all time in Arizona basketball history.
And one more thing before we have our last quick little ad break here, Damon. I wanted to bring up, you kind of mentioned how it shows the passion. It kind of makes that bleed into the rest of the team. You alluded to it. A lot of these guys are from out of state, not just for the importance to what it means to Grant and what it might mean to the program, but I think that's a great vehicle for showing what it means to the people of the city, like what it means to the people that are in these stands, right? Because when you're out there with him and he's saying, hey, like these people want to see us. They came here to see us. They came here to see Arizona basketball, right? I think it adds another layer. And hey, maybe next year, Koa Pete can carry the torch.
We'll see.
Just saying.
We got a little bit more to get into here. We're going to talk about the stock market, Kevin. Let's check in, see how the state of things are going on the AZ Wildcats postgame show.
Carol Royce team.
Is it like a chocolate rain?
Yeah, Carol Royce. If you want to buy a home, check out Carol Royce. I'm done.
Shane's gonna leave.
Yeah, Shane's removing the headphones. He's actually lighting them on fire right now. But Carol Royce team is a great place to shop for your next home. Call 480-776-5231 to start the conversation. Whether it's your first time home or you're a seasoned buyer, Carol Royce has all the tools for you. Even some tools you didn't even think they had in the toolbox. If you go on other competitors' websites, online trying to find homes, you're not going to find all of the listings. Carol Royce has those secret listings for you. They got the secret sauce over at Carol Royce. You can become a VIP buyer, getting access to all those off-market listings. And if you're worried about financing, don't. Carol works with the best lenders, ensuring you get the best rates and loan options. So make sure to check out our friends over at carolroyceteam.com. That's carolroyceteam.com. Terms and conditions do apply if you're ready to find your dream home and take the next step.
Head on over to Carol Royce team. They just have a great guarantee over there, Kevin. And I got a guarantee for you guys. I'm going to guarantee for you that Sanderson Ford is going to treat you like family when you head on over to their Glendale campus out there. And I say campus because it is truly a campus. It is huge. In fact, the biggest Ford dealership, size-wise, in the United States of America. For one of the staples of American car brands in Ford, I think that holds some weight there. And in celebration of Arizona being the 48th state in the union, Ford trucks being number one in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating by giving away or by selling 848 new vehicles on President's Day here and beyond, many with savings of $4,800 or more.
Sheesh.
It's that big number 48 for state 48. All of it has to do with 48. Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense to see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership. For complete customer satisfaction, don't miss the Sanderson Ford presidential sale. Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and Flex Buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire in March.
Sanderson Ford, get at me, man. Like I was driving the F-150 in St. Louis and I come back and I'm not driving the F-150 no more and I'm sad.
Were you actually?
I swear, that was not a joke. That was a real story.
Was it a rental car? Or was
it was a rental.
Oh, okay.
And it was really nice.
Sounds nice. What year was it?
Like 2023, the 75th anniversary year of the Ford brand.
Dang.
Yeah. See, I'm learning all types of stuff about
the
Ford.
Lions had the best season they've like pretty much ever had. Like
people are saying 2023 Fords, get them at Sanderson Ford. People
Ford
are
might
saying
be on top.
People are saying Ford might be on top, but Damon Dog, we got more to talk about with this Arizona versus Arizona State matchup. I actually believe that quite expeditiously we're getting Erika Day into the stream. Let's bring Erika Day into the stream. Welcome, Erika, to the AZ Wildcats postgame show. How we feeling from McKale?
Dude, first of all, can we just talk about how much better at this you guys are getting? Because I didn't have to ask you guys for a link today to log into the stream.
Little inside baseball.
God.
Yeah, no, I did give Shane the request there about 5 minutes pre-show. I was like, hey, let's get a link so that Erika can get in here.
Wow, that is really kind. But I came in hot the last time I was on this show, and I would actually prefer to come in hot again because I do have something to say.
Please, the floor is yours.
Listen, I tweeted it, and the video is actually about just this. But I would just like to say, if a Dia Barnes Arizona women's basketball team came in this McKale Center and allowed an opponent to score 100 points on them, Dia Barnes is having a freaking heart attack in the post-game presser. Okay, a full-fledged heart attack. I don't think you guys understand, and I understand we're talking about women's basketball, blah 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 blah. But I'm so serious. We could even be talking about 89 points, shit, even 75 points, and she's still having a stroke in the post-game presser. So all I'm gonna say is 100 points is actually crazy, especially when you consider the fact that they have 4 scholarship players available by the end of the game. Are you so serious right now? Oh, clearly I've had a lot of caffeine, no food, and a lot of frustration from the fact that they put up 100 points in this gym today. You know?
Erika,
That's
here's
crazy.
number one. I just want to say, maybe let's take a couple deep breaths. That was a lot, and I can tell you're pretty fired up. But you're so right, Kevin and I. That was our main topic to start off the show. Was this defense was terrible tonight? I mean, you can't. That's not something that you can hang your hat on and be confident in. You know, this late into the season in particular, especially with just given the circumstances of ASU's team tonight. You know, they have 6 players playing. One guy they added in the middle of the season who's 17. And, you know, the next guy is the son of the coach who's a walk-on.
Bro doesn't even know Pythagorean's theorem yet or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying?
Neither do you.
Dog
I
doesn't
don't.
know what PEMDAS is.
My
and he's
best
playing
subject was
college
English,
basketball.
my brother. I graduated,
You know?
but I excel in math. You know what I'm saying?
That makes one of us.
Wait, so you were good at math?
No,
I was saying I was bad at math. I was saying my best subject
Oh.
was English. But continue.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, anyways, though, yeah, I was pretty frustrated, but the crowd was really good. So, you know, I will give y'all hats off to that. I don't have to complain about the crowd today. There were quite a few empty seats, but it is a 9 freaking p.m. game. Again, like, what are we going to do? I
Yeah, it
can't
looked
beg anymore, you know?
It looked fairly packed tonight, you know, and just a super late tip off. It's tough with, you know, we know our fan base skews old, especially in that lower bowl. And so when you have a tip off this late, like that's gonna change some things. So you didn't felt like it was that affected by the late tip off tonight, Erika?
No, and I also thought it was actually a really rowdy crowd. I thought Tommy got exactly what he asked for. I felt like a lot of people did exactly what Tommy asked them to do and went to a happy hour pregame and then showed up and were just ready to cause ruckus. I know the student section will probably get a lot of flack for some of the you know, obscenities that were thrown out today. But nonetheless, vibes were good if you ask me, you know?
Yeah, no, I did see online that some people were very disappointed in the expletives being chanted.
Let me before I make that face, let me do some quick research to see what was possibly said.
I think from what I saw there might have been an F Bobby Hurley chant thrown out there, which
Come
Well,
on.
and I will
You know, I don't
defend
know.
ASU. I'm going to defend this on the
I don't
for
know.
like
I'm
just
just
a second.
saying people complain.
because
You know,
I would have understood like the F Bobby Hurley like late in the game, but like they started it like within 2 minutes of the game tipping off. Like they were just on his rear from jump, which I do love. Inject that into my veins.
So
But the way that they were just actually insane from tip it was crazy.
let me rebuttal real fast though. I at no point am I saying it's disgusting. It's college basketball. They're students. It's whatever. I will say though, if you put any other coach into this, specifically a guy like Tommy Lloyd, and he comes into another team's arena and they start chanting that, everyone's hair is on fire. People are freaking out because U of A fans, and for reasons that we understand, treat Bobby Hurley like a mascot. And so you have to think about it as a coach and think about it as a person. Take all of the stuff he does, and I know he does a lot of that to himself, and I completely understand that. But all I'm saying is, like, if you just look at this as a human perspective, that's kind of a crazy thing to do.
Here's what I'll say. I
go ahead.
I need the floor here. Bobby Hurley is the type of guy where he hears "F you, Bobby," and that means "Bobby, we love you."
Yeah,
like that.
This guy went to Duke, man.
He finds that endearing. He's found that endearing his entire damn life.
He loves being the underdog. 100%.
This guy went to Duke.
Not just underdog, but he likes people hating him. 100%.
Yeah.
That's totally who he is.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm not going to sit here and be like, let's feel bad for Bobby Hurley in
And
a
that's not what
circumstance like
that's
that.
exactly why I opened
But
it up
also,
with what I said.
Tommy Lloyd would never get those chances because Tommy Lloyd handles himself with class and professionalism. in every opportunity, and you cannot say the same for Bobby Hurley.
In
So
fact, you
that's
could
why
say-
that happens. I like Bobby Hurley. I think he mostly handles himself with professionalism.
Again, not defending,
but when
just putting in a different
when he's-
situation, if you can imagine.
When he comes out in our last game and does what he does, and then says he's specifically not going to vote for Caleb Love in Big 12 postseason accolades, he earns the hatred from the fan
Look, man,
base.
you're coming at me like I said they shouldn't be doing that. That's not what I said. I'm just saying, can you imagine?
I'm
if
just
some-
referring to what you said.
Yeah.
I'm about to imagine, because this is a man who deleted social media due to the outrage of his own actions.
Okay, again, you guys are saying that Bobby doesn't deserve this. That's
Well, no,
not what I'm
no,
saying
wait.
at all.
But I'm trying to be
That's
in
not
his
what I'm
shoes.
trying to make
I'm trying
it
to put
about.
myself in his
Okay.
shoes, right? I'm saying this is a man who clearly is down bad. Clearly has deleted all social media, hasn't touched the internet since he last lost to the same team, and now he's going into a place where he knows they're probably like, he's probably dreading this, if we're being honest. Like, I know he's a competitor, and I know he probably wanted to win this game, but he's probably dreading this experience.
I think he lives for it.
I think
I'm
he
gonna be
lived
honest. I'm
for
gonna
it.
interject here.
But
Dog
yes,
looked
go ahead.
real sad in that post-game presser. Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on if that really is his last game of McKale. Blah 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 blah. You know, the streets are saying a lot of things. That said, the man looked real sad. And I'm not saying that losing to your rival isn't enough to make you that sad. But let's just hold our horses with the Bobby couldn't wait, because Bobby couldn't wait to play that team
Yeah.
with 7 available
Yeah.
players. I could have totally waited if I were Bobby Hurley.
He
And you could see it all
definitely
over
was
his
dreading
face.
it.
But we're not going to sit here and act like that team didn't have fire tonight. Like, they were shorthanded and they
sure.
played like their coach was like had them mentally prepared for getting in a dogfight.
Hey man, look, I
Bobby
do get,
forever.
I literally get what Shane is saying. I really do, because it probably did feel awful from a human perspective to have that happen to you as you're already feeling down bad.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. Bobby didn't feel awful. I'm saying he definitely didn't feel awful. I'm saying put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Can you imagine if fans are chanting that at any coach except for Hurley? Is what I'm saying. Because here's what I'm saying: the reaction from the fan base or from just the outsiders is what's crazy to me. Oh, they chanted F Bobby Hurley, haha. Like, everybody in the country's thinking that. And again, like, that's for a reason. Like, this is who Bobby is.
Don't you think if they
Nasty
did
guy.
that if they did that to Danny Hurley, though, people would feel the
Okay,
same way?
yeah, but
They're abrasive.
I know there are certain types of people, exactly.
Yeah.
abrasive.
Unlikable dudes.
I'm just saying, like, it's a funny thing to think about that somebody chants, the whole crowd chants something like that, and it's like, whatever. And again, I'm not saying it's bad, wrong, whatever. It's just, it's hilarious to
No,
think
it is
about.
crazy, yeah.
If that's chanted at another person,
is.
it's insane.
It is. I do love seeing things happen to people that they asked to happen, whether they know that they asked for it or not. I really love people getting what they deserve, and boy, is Bobby Hurley getting all of what he deserves this season, because boy, you have been a gross person to have to listen to and pay attention to and watch coach and yell at your team on the sideline, despite they're just doing what you tell them to do, and you're still going to yell at them. So Bobby Hurley, I can't wait to never watch him coach another game at McKale. I know we joke about the Bobby forever, but I'm kind of fired up now, because Bobby Hurley, get out of here. Disgusting. I can't wait for him to go get chanted at somewhere else.
Jesus,
because
man.
someone else is going to go find Bobby Hurley and dislike him too. Because he's not likable, he's not fun, and he's not good at coaching.
The funnest.
Yeah, objectively so fun.
Yeah, that's
He's
a
fun
terrible
because he's
take.
not our coach. I don't know what
Agreed.
Shane's talking about.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about from your perspective. This is your show.
But I know,
he's
but
like-
I'm just, I
of
said
course
it, I
he's
said
fun.
it on the last time that we had this conversation. It's just objectively so embarrassing. Like I told this to Damon the other night, that if I was Bobby Hurley, I would wake up with existential dread at how I act half the time on these sidelines.
Because, respectfully, Kevin, you can't take what Bobby Hurley takes. He loves taking that stuff.
No, but I'm not talking about the taking. I'm talking about the way he acts as a person.
Because he's okay with the repercussions, because that's who he is.
You can be okay getting ish talked at you, but you don't have to act like a baby. I'm saying the tearing off the tie, being a WWE character, you welcome all of that, and that's fine.
He's a showman.
Showman. He's
He
getting
is a
blown
showman.
out every night. I don't care.
I-
He's the what the Washington Generals. They're showmen too. I love that. I do love
Is
that.
this
Bobby
what it's
Hurley
like
the showman.
being in a conversation with me?
Kinda, yeah, actually.
Yeah. I know, it sucks.
Actually,
It's horrible.
really, I think Shane needs to produce the show every single day. Like, this is really top
Yeah, Shane.
Yeah,
right now.
this is awesome. It's 12:40, and I usually go to bed at 9:50. This is great. Every night, let's do it.
You would have caught the first half tonight, Shane. Let's go.
I do not hate Bobby Hurley to the level that you hate Bobby Hurley. Kevin.
I'd
like to make.
Erika, what do you think about Bobby?
Yeah,
Hurley?
but Erika, where do you stand on this?
I'm gonna be honest. I really like Bobby. I think Bobby's a lot of fun, and frankly, to be blunt with you, number one, Mason, is that his name? Mason. I'm sorry.
Alston Mason.
Yeah, that guy. That guy.
Even if that was real, I love the idea of the bit.
And that dude, like, listen, they've had a crappy year. Okay, let's just put it plainly. Just, dude gets kicked off the team. They have, like, their star player has injuries. Like, then the other star player has injury. Crap, right? And number one is still in there, just having a grand old attitude with the guy we just very sweetly referred to as a WWE character, and it can't be easy to be bought in on the WWE character of it all. So, hats off to him for getting like 6-7 people bought in on what he's doing. It can't be easy. When you're losing that much, it also can't be that fun for you. Yeah, sure, I have a lot of fun watching Bobby Hurley, but I'm sure it can't be that much fun when you're losing that much as Bobby Hurley.
Erika, you obviously were in the post game. What did Tommy have to say about this putrid defensive performance tonight? Because I think that's where I am most interested in hearing about.
I just want to, before I show you guys this clip, before you let it roll, I'm just going to let you know you're probably going to be disappointed. I would say over the last 4 weeks, we've had fired up Tommy Lloyd after fired up Tommy Lloyd after fired up Tommy Lloyd, whether we win or lose. And I'm going to just say it. It's past Tommy Lloyd's bedtime. Dude was ready to go home, and we kept asking questions, and he was like, bro, let me get out of here. You know what I mean?
He's like, Erika, I'm going to have to look at the analytics on that. I'll get back to you next press conference. Let's talk again. Let's rehash. We'll circle back.
Yes. He's like, we're going to go watch the film. I'm like, Tommy, you were just watching it in person. What? And then also the other thing that he said, which I'm not actually even sure is in the clip or not, but he's like, yeah, we'll go back, watch the film. And, they just made some really tough shots. And I'm like, that's not what happened. Like, neither team played defense. Neither of you.
There were tough shots made because there were tough shots allowed.
Right. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
I meant high difficulty. I meant like the layup that Alston Mason had.
That's good defense, in other words.
No, okay, whatever. Ignore
Which is not what happened.
They did not. It's not what happened at all. And I just was when listening to him speak, I was just like, okay, all right. We're getting this. Tommy needs to go go watch some film, look at the stats some more. I'm like, Tommy, we actually don't need to look at stats anymore for this. You've won on the sweep, and you played pretty poorly on the defensive end. Maybe fix that before you go to Allen Fieldhouse. How about that?
Agreed.
And that's basically what he said he's going to do. So, yep, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, Toby's on the floor, so I'm gonna trust he's right. But we'll go back and watch it. Obviously it's 3 out of 4 games where teams have played pretty well offensively against us. So we got to figure out is there a code that's been cracked? Is it a little bit of the code been cracked and a little bit of bad luck? Sometimes they just make the shot, right? So we got to dig a little deeper and look into it.
Yeah, not thrilled with that answer, to be honest. I tweeted it during the game.
Huh.
I said Tommy Lloyd better not excuse his defensive effort in the post game. I'm not saying that he excused it, but it also isn't necessarily like the outwardly against reaction I'd like to see after a 6-man ASU team that is 4-15 in the Big 12 conference went into your house and put up triple digits. Like all of those extenuating circumstances, you roll down the line, it's like that shouldn't happen. And it did happen. And yeah, you have to, I think you got to be a little bit more calling out your players in the post game. I'm not saying do it the Mick Cronin way. I'm not saying that, KJ sucked tonight like Mick Cronin would do, but like, give me a little bit of juice. Like, hey, this wasn't good enough. We got to be better. This isn't a team that's going to go deep into make a tournament run deep. Like this felt like a team that would lose in the first or second round of this tournament. So it's, I would have liked to have seen a little more juice from Tommy in the post game.
I think Erika was right. Bro looked and sounded tired.
Yeah.
Like he looked ready for a nice cool side of a pillow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. he comes in and he's like, I wanted to make you guys wait till after midnight. I'm like, who are you making wait? Because the only person I think you're making wait is actually yourself, bro. Like, you look rough. Go home, get some sleep, watch the film, and get back to us tomorrow, huh? Like,
Yeah, or just say that.
Yeah, or just say, hey, I'm tired.
You know what? I'm freaking tired, man. I gotta go home.
Good save.
No, I was never gonna. I was never gonna say that.
I will say, Damon, just so you can have a little juice pumped into your veins before I get out of here. He did say, Tommy Lloyd said he did not break a sweat that entire game. And if that isn't like worthy of injection, I don't know what is. Yeah. I was cracking up when he said that. I'm like, of course you didn't.
What play was it that Tommy Lloyd, they asked him about it after the game, and he was kind of like, yeah, you know, I could have went to the clipboard, I could have drew something up, but I just didn't feel like it was right at the time.
Yeah,
that was kind of one of those answers where he was like, yeah, I could have coached my ass off today.
Yeah,
but I'm just gonna vibe. We're just gonna ride this one out, win by 13, and move on to Fog Allen.
He knows that. What's up?
No, go ahead, Erika.
No, he knows that Kansas is a big test, and so I think. I don't think he came into that press conference looking to give the usual like threatening, answers that he normally would have, because again, he knows the pressure that's about to be on them when you walk into Fog Allen. Like, it's not easy. And so I think, the guys are prepared for that. Personally, I think this is their last big test on if they can really win on the road. And it's a really, really important game. And I think everyone in the locker room, including Tommy Lloyd, very much so knows that. And so I think all of the answers he had tonight definitely played a part into, his planning for this upcoming week.
And real quick, I also kind of just wanted to point out the fact that Tommy Lloyd, as a coach, you got to pick your spots, right? You can't be Mr. Fiery coach guy all the time, because then it starts falling on deaf ears. Bobby Hurley, Mick Cronin. But I think, like, when you pick your spots, you can't get super fired up against. You already just played your rival. Everyone knows how important that game is. Winning the game is the most important thing to come out of the game when you're playing your rival. It's going to be ugly sometimes. It's going to not look the way you want it to look. But overall, I think Tommy Lloyd kind of picking his spots and yelling at the team after midnight when they're tired and just had a 13-point victory. Probably not the spot you want to pick there. Maybe practice tomorrow or whatnot would be the nice spot to pick. But
that's fair. And I think that, a lot of Wildcats fans struggle with that, because Tommy's not going to be like an outwardly, I'm going to call my team out in front of the media guy. He's going to do that behind closed doors more so. And I think people think that it doesn't happen at all because we're not in the building, but I guarantee you that he's not happy with how that one went down tonight. Before we get out of here real quick, we do have Caleb Love's senior speech. I think it'd be fun to play real quick for the people. So let's hear what Caleb Love had to say to the McKale crowd following the senior day ceremony.
Finale, Caleb Love, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know what this dude means to me, and he and I had a special relationship, and what a great person. And to endure what he's endured in his young life is remarkable, and just how he how he carries himself and holds himself every day. It makes me proud to be his coach. St. Louis!
Putting me in position to come to such an amazing program. I appreciate every single one of y'all fans for coming out and supporting me each and every night. I want to thank my parents for raising me how they did. I feel like y'all raised somebody that's such an amazing young man. I want to thank Ram, who's been working with me each and every day, thick and thin. He's never wavered. He's always supported me, trusted me, and he kept his hard hat on. I want to thank Coach Lloyd for placing me in position to be the best version of myself and challenging me each and every day. Coach Rob, he's been with me since my freshman year. Been knowing him since I was in sophomore year in high school. So I want to thank him, thank all my teammates for y'all make this thing go. The managers, Griggs, everybody. I want Coach Rounds. I want to thank everybody, but I just want to thank y'all for making this place a bunch of blessings year round, and I just want to thank y'all.
There you have it. Caleb Love's speech on senior day for ceremony. Kevin, very emotional watching that. Just just giddiness. I could feel it just sitting right next to you.
I
Kevin.
was leaned in, like, you know the meme where you're not locked in and you locked in? That was me right now. I was leaned over here. Everything he said, I leaned over. Damon said, facts. Well said. Look, that was such a funny joke. Like, man, Caleb Love was just hooping in that interview, hooping in the game after. But I wanted to point out.
Damn, his car's so sick.
Damn, he must drive such a cool car. I wonder what his NIL check is like. That's crazy. But
Erika, is there anything else before we get you out of here? Because it's late and you got to get home. Anything that we missed on that you wanted to talk about real quick?
If anyone has a chance to go back and watch postgame presser and listen to Tommy talk about his son, Liam Lloyd, tonight, it wasn't long, not much, but it's pretty cool, you know, and it doesn't fall on deaf ears that he says it doesn't make anything different for his son to play for our team. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, you know, it was never planned and it was never in the cards for Liam to play here. And, you know, now Liam's given Tommy his first grandchild and is local while doing so. And it's pretty cool. So, you know, I think, you know, it's a valuable 2 minutes to go listen to. You know, you don't get Tommy to tear up too often, and you got it tonight. So love to see it.
I might not know ball, Damon, the way I think I know ball. I might not be as tapped in as I think I am. Didn't know Tommy Lloyd was a grandparent.
Me either.
Didn't know.
I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know.
I saw the grandchild literally on the court today, and still, when he said it in the post-game presser, that was the first time I put two and two together. I was like, it must be his niece or something, you know? And no, it was definitely.
I don't know that that's
niece.
a no ball moment.
Hey, man.
Yeah, how would have you known that information? Are we all supposed
social
to be
media? I feel like somehow it would have like.
Bro is TMZ over here.
No, I'm saying like maybe Liam Lloyd posted to his Instagram and then someone gets in and circulates and says, "Oh, Tommy Lloyd is now a grandfather." Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that's something that I would know of the three of us. Like I feel like Erika would know it, then I would know it, then you would know it. Kind of
yeah, I feel like I would know it, and I would inform the two of you of that. That would be the order of events there.
Yeah. So Erika let us down.
Bear down. Full sweep on gendered basketball. I don't know if everyone's heard, but the women did this too. So I just want to make sure.
Yes, they
did.
We did
give
indeed.
Up 100
and
points
gearing up for a tournament run here.
So.
The women's basketball team is going into this tournament. Need at least one win, right, Erika? I mean, first four out type of vibe.
Dude. It's going to be a tough journey for this women's team. And I was texting Kevin about this the other day. Like, if you ask me personally, I don't think they deserve an at-large bid. You lost to GCU. You lost to NAU. And in my professional opinion, and it is professional because I am paid to have it, Cal, are you serious, Cal? And so, you know, you lose to Cal. In my opinion, that was the game where I was like, oh, this team is not good. Got it. Understood. But, you know, if they win the first game in the Big 12 tournament, it'll either be versus Colorado or Houston. Then they have to go on to play the Big 12 regular season champions in TCU. And I have been there, done that. I'm all set. So, you know, not to say I hope they get bounced in the first round, but watching them play TCU is not something I'm going to enjoy doing with my Friday afternoon.
Well, Erika, we'll leave you on that. Thank you for, you know, we always get you out, I feel like, on a women's basketball take. So, you know, informing the audience of what they need to hear. Follow Erika at Erika Lee Day on Twitter. That's LEA on Twitter. No H as you know, famously I have thrown in there from time to time. And thank you so much, Erika, for all your coverage. And shout out Cohen as well for his help tonight. Cohen's the best.
Cohen is the best. Cohen did his job sick.
Always.
Didn't have to, though.
Even with me borderline yelling at him in the text messages to go get video of Caleb Love on the court. Yeah, it was, you know, it's tough, you know, working with Erika. You know, it's really tough. You know?
Hey, but that's what Erika's there for, to be the boss with the boss jacket on. I got to say, sweet jacket tonight again, Erika. Every time you wear that jacket, it feels like good vibes are coming. And Erika, get home safe tonight.
See you guys.
Well, Kevin, we got to get out of here. But first, I think let's just throw up the stock market real quick, talk about it. I know we didn't get to it yet. No steals for Arizona tonight. Arizona wins the blocks category. Felt like a lot of blocks, but mostly just because Henri Veesar had 4. And I guess what is the total here? We're looking at
7. You got 7 blocks for Arizona, no steals for a total of 7. Here, right? 3 blocks, 4 steals for a total of 7. So it was actually tied 7-7 in the stock market. Sometimes, you know, you're not buying, you're not selling, you're just kind of holding. And that's what tonight felt like. You know, you're just kind of holding. You would love to see more steals, but when the turnovers were as low as they were, what can you really ask for?
To even win the game when you don't win the stock market battle, it begs the question. Arizona gearing up for a massive game against Kansas. We're going to be previewing it all week long. Is this game a must-win? You let us know in the comments. Drop it in after the show is over. Don't leave it in the chat. Wait until the stream is over. Drop it in the comments. Can Arizona take down Kansas, and is it a must-win? Kevin, we're going to be talking about it all week. You can follow my guy Kevin at KevoPost. That's KEVOPOSTS. Follow me at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. You can follow my guy Shane Diefenbach at Shane Dief on Twitter, and get your ASU fix in over there if you so hope so. And Shane's a reasonable guy, so he has good takes. And of course, follow our account at PHNX_Wildcats on Twitter as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. I would love to end this on a Bobby forever, but that's not our typical thing.
Real quick though, shout out to everybody in the chat for staying up with us. Like, I know,
oh God, yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, it's late
I couldn't
night.
imagine.
Not everyone's probably even located in Arizona. Some of y'all probably in the Central Time Zone. That's even later out there. I see my guy Luke got the Bedard jersey. That's true, but they deserve to thank you real quick on the way out. You know what I mean? Held the door open. At least say you're welcome. You know what I mean? Anyway.
We're going to get out of here on that. This was the AZ Wildcats post-game show. Thank you so much for watching. Another victorious edition. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Make sure you guys are there. And until then, peace, bear down.
Go Cats.
We all silly like the mayor.